on the block with the chopstick. No, I'm not Blueface. But niggas know I mop shit. Blah, 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 cause he talking out. Blah, 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 he ain't walking out. Just the other day, another nigga I was marking out. Uzi on demand, we ain't never gotta talk it out. Baby, what you asking, what's your question? I'm dangerous in the field and I love wearing fast. Tusi get it crockin' if another homie lacking. F&N lay him down or he tracking. Same nigga dissing on the neck, say he ramping. I go on a murder spree like Manson. Chopper hit a nigga arm, leg, now he dancing. Put a nigga on 1,000,000 hits, now he trending.
I don't trust no mark, no hoe, no bop, no op, no bitch, no blop blop. I get in that mode so fast, on his ass for the count, don't make me hit you with the blop blop way.
What's the good old big deal with the good old people, man? It's your boy Young and Hefe. Don't care about number what the check say. Make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe because it don't cost you nothing. But press that button, and if you ring that notification bell, I'm gonna bring you mail. What's the good old big deal with the good old people? It's Hot Topics with your boy Young and Hefe, and I'm here to deliver you another one like the other one. The recipient of Hot Topic is Bricc Baby. So we got an update on Bricc Baby, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know Brother Eddie Boy, you know what I'm saying, been making his way down here to these court dates, to these downtown court buildings to get the necessary facts that's needed to be spoke on. So last time we brought y'all, I think that was about 4 or 5 days ago, we brought y'all the content on Bricc Baby taking his plea agreement, you know what I'm saying? He had pled it out to a bunch of weapon charges. He had more weapons than I thought. So like it was funny watching the video with Flacco, and Flacco like Bricc Baby was preparing, you know what I'm saying, to go to war. You know what I'm saying? Me, just on the inside looking in, you know, I only knew about the AK, which originally started the case, and then the gun, you know what I'm saying, that he was apprehended with that was showed on No Jumper. But as we go through this content, a few more guns are gonna be named, you know what I'm saying, as well as the ammunition and stuff like that. And you're gonna learn things, you know, if you're receptive to it, you know what I'm saying? So it's crazy. I've been in the feds, right? And you know, everything I don't know, some things I forget. A lot of that stuff I try to drop, you know what I'm saying, and let go because I don't want to be caught up in no state of institutional lies, you know what I'm saying? So with all these multiple weapon charges like in the feds, so let's just say you get locked up with 5 guns or whatever the case like that. They're not going to charge you separately. Like, oh, you got 1 AK, you got 1 9, you got this and that. They're going to charge you for all them guns. Now, the thing is, the feds have gaps that they open at times, and they have loopholes, which they loop at times. And at times, it seems like they make things up as they go along. So, with Bricc Baby having all these weapon charges and it being charged as 1 gun, I've been hearing in his plea agreement that he faces up to 15 years. Now, the only way I see him facing up to 15 years for these gun charges is if he's getting hit with an armed career criminal. But it don't seem like they hitting him with that armed career criminal because it's going to be explained. The feds go by a number point system based on how many times you've been to jail as an adult, the seriousness of the crime, and things like that. So, like if Bricc Baby had like other weapon charges that were in the state, like if they really wanted to, if it wasn't 15 years older, they can come merge those weapon cases from the state with the weapon cases that made him go federal, and they can charge him with an armed career criminal, and that's 15 off the back, no talking, you know what I'm saying, no deal, that is the deal, you know what I'm saying. So however, it looked like that for acceptance, if Bricc Baby is in acceptance, that other charges he had that we didn't know, he had fraud charges and all that, and I went through the indictment, and I must have forgot, smoking too much weed, I guess. But they dropped a lot of other charges, you know what I'm saying? He had other charges with the gun charges, and they dropped them charges. So we definitely about to get into this content. And y'all already know, man, it's the Hef Way and the Hef Effect. We gonna commentate.
People, for me, once again, just giving you a little update to clear some things up with Bricc Baby. You see that? Desire Mitchell. One thing, man, about reporting on things that I learned and understand that you always obtain information, you know, the right information when you ask questions, when you delve off into certain things, when you read properly and correctly. It's just a short little thing. See, Bricc Baby paperwork reads the same like Nate's, but the only difference between their paperwork and they charge with the same thing. The 18 USC 922 G1. And the last time I reported on this, I was saying that Bricc Baby is charged with a pistol. But I found out Bricc Baby has pleaded guilty to everything that's on the gun charge. The Ruger 380, the 9mm, the AK, the 26 round, the 32 rounds, 6 rounds, 31 rounds, and 36 rounds of ammunition, and a 45 caliber pistol. So what I have learned is that when you go to the feds, even though you get caught with multiple guns, it's still like one count because it's a gun charge with the ammunition, the guns, and all that type of stuff. That's what I found out, you know, alhamdulillah. You know, that's what it is. But Bricc Baby did have other charges aligned with him, and they did drop them other charges. And the other charges that they dropped was wire fraud and PPP loan, and even, you know, he filed for the disaster for the fires in Pasadena. He he filed for that. This year, you know, he filed for that. So they charged him with that as well. So, you know, but they dropped all them charges on him because he pleaded to this right here. Now, I don't have his sentence. This is his sentence. This is his deal agreement, but I don't have his probation report. And I think I'm gonna go back down there today and delve off into that and try to get that and see if it's posted yet, because everybody else had one and he didn't have one yet. So that's when you'll know how many months he's facing, how much time he's facing. But in here it's telling him that he's facing up to 15 years. And then on the other note, the prosecutors said that they would like for him to have a 3-level knockdown. So whatever level he starts at, they're gonna knock it down 3 levels.
Need storage? Go to priceselfstorage.com. Enter your zip code.
So that's the update with Bricc Baby when he goes back to court in December when he get his time. But that's the update for Bricc Baby at this particular time. And I'm going to be covering everybody that basically got arrested that day. Even though they're not part of the RICO, I'm still going down there and I'm pulling up everybody things. Seem like everybody that's not a part of the RICO, they are taking plea deals.
All right, so y'all heard what Eddie Boy said, you know what I'm saying, based off the facts of that paperwork. Now, what I've been enlightened on, right? So it looks like that I'm not understanding how Bricc Baby go for sentencing in December and he haven't received his plea agreement. A plea agreement is what you plead out to. So it looks like what Eddie Boy is reading from is Bricc Baby actual indictment, like the paperwork of the indictment, what issued the warrant, the initial indictment, not the grand jury indictment. What were you indicted on and in custody for? You know what I'm saying? Not the complaint, the actual indictment. So it looked like he's reading from the indictment. You know what I'm saying? But I say that because he should already have a sentencing report, like the PSI. So the PSI is something that Eddie Boy was talking about as well. That's the thing that he said that everybody have that Bricc Baby doesn't have. But Eddie Boy got to be reading from the plea agreement. Yeah, you got to be reading from the plea agreement, because you have a plea agreement, which meaning you're admitting to this and pleading out to it. And in there, it's going to have everything that was dropped versus everything they sticking you with, the counts, the situations, how they happen, the transcripts. Then in the back, it's going to have, like, you know, basically stuff for the pre-sentencing report people to furthermore go off of. And just like basically when you enter society, like if you're gonna be able to get student loans, you know what I'm saying? So like some people who be having drug cases, when they got these drug cases, like if they decide to get out and go to college, you know what I'm saying, they automatically don't classify for student loans because the government has stricken that for you having this drug case. So basically a PSI, right? So the plea agreement is the plea agreement, which I explained to y'all. It's telling you the time you getting, how much your probationary period is going to be, and stuff like that, and what you pleading out to, and saying, and what you facing. The PSI, the pre-sentencing report, is actual everything that's calculated up, everything that's done, you know what I'm saying, versus letters of support from the society versus what you did as an adult. And they do bring juvenile up. They bring your juvenile history up. So the pre-sentencing report is going to have everything you ever been arrested for down from juvenile hall. If you told on somebody, if you went in that courtroom, if you went out on this type of hearing, all that is documented in the pre-sentencing report. That's why when a lot of people go to the feds, the counselors and police don't want you to have that pre-sentencing report, because you can be in the feds solid as day on the case that you in on now, but that pre-sentencing report will put you out there for other cases you were told on, whether it was state or whether it was fed. Now, Eddie Boy has said something. He said Bricc Baby faces up to 15 years. And that's where I'm kind of like confused at, because the up to 15 years, right, that would be like an open plea. If I'm taking a plea agreement, so like when I took my plea agreement for 10 years, I knew for sure that I was getting 120 months in the feds. Anything else was a prayer and hope for getting under that 120 months. So if Bricc Baby took a plea agreement, I wonder what the deal was for. Was it 84 months? Was it 56 months? 76 months? You know what I'm saying? Something like that. Because now, when I was thinking about entering an open plea, then that's when my range was like, they like, hey, look, you face up to 20 years. You can fight it, you face up to 20 years. So, like, if you lose, the max or the most we can give you is 20 years. But I was fighting either to go home, which is 0 months, or the lowest time possible. But after reading into, like, you know what I'm saying, that open plea and the shifts that the case was taking with the feds, man, I got about them people way and took my deal and got about the way. So that's what I'm saying with this Bricc Baby situation. That's what's kind of confusing me about him facing up to 15 years, you know what I'm saying, for these gun charges. Something else, right? So I guess basically while they was on him, they let him go for that AK originally. It seemed like they was investigating him for everything. So I guess amongst their investigation, his name popped up on PPP loans. I don't know. They didn't say nothing about EDD. Like, they didn't go that far back. But he said that they did try to get him on the rent, like, relief. The California fires. You know, them fires went on. You know, they had rent relief. You know, they was cutting checks. Y'all know how I go. I don't got to get up here and put everything out there. If you know, you know. You know what I'm saying? If you white-collar savvy, then you know what's up. You know what's going on. So, obviously, they like, you know, Bricc was in on some of these acts, too, trying to run it up. And this was tacked on. You know what I'm saying? They attacked these fraud cases on with the gun case. But as they know, the fraud cases don't hold no time but a year or two. So it looks like that they threw the fraud cases out that he had, they canceled them out just to get him to admit to the gun cases. His sentencing is in December. Eddie Boy said he gonna go get everything. So I'll be on the lookout for that to see what the pre-sentencing report say versus everything else. And with that being said, we gonna conclude it right there. It's your boy Young and Hefe. Don't care about number what the check say. Make sure you go ahead, like and subscribe, because it don't cost you nothing. And press that button. And if you ring that notification bell, I'm gonna bring you mail.
Out the gate, on the regular, I sit back and observe the way most of you niggas fake fuck with each other. Low-key beefing about these hoes. I ain't gonna let a nigga fake fuck with me. So if a nigga tell you he don't fuck with me, it's because he can't fuck with me.